The writers of the CASPer say you can't prep for the CASPer. Here's a quote from their website. The general literature suggests that situational judgment tests are relatively immune to test preparation, i.e., coaching is unlikely to provide benefit. Of course they're going to say that. They wrote the test. You know who else said that? The makers of the MCAT and SAT a bunch of years ago. And of course now we know that you can prep for the exam. So how does one go about preparing for the CASPer? I've got 8 of my best tips. Number 1, practice your typing speed. That is at the heart of what the CASPer tests. You have 5 minutes to write 3 essay questions, and length plays a role in your score. Number 2, come up with examples of past behavior to use in the written portions of the CASPer. You will need, for example, to know times that you dealt with conflict or deadlines or controversy. These are the kinds of questions that CASPer will ask you about, and the more specific your answers are, the higher your score will be. So not only should you prep those in advance, you should actually write them down and make them in a cheat sheet that you keep in front of you during the exams. Don't cheat on your CASPer, but this is within the rules. Because you only have 5 minutes, it's not efficient for most people to do that, but as a reminder of the things that you can talk about, it can be great for getting over any of those brain farts you have during the exam. Number 4, install Grammarly on your computer. Yes, the CASPer is the graders say that they overlook grammar and spelling mistakes, but part of their score is their impression of the intelligence of your answer. And if there are too many grammar errors, you're going to sound unprofessional or seem like you don't know what you're talking about. Next tip would be, the CASPer is not medically oriented. Unlike some of the websites that say they prep you for the CASPer, you should not be reading up on medical ethics. Instead, you should be reading up on the conversations our society is currently having in difficult ethical situations. Things like the Me Too movement and Black Lives Matter. You should be fluent in these conversations on both sides of the issue because the CASPer is going to pull from those in the questions they ask you. Next tip would be for the videos of the section. So the videos go like this. It's 90 seconds, and then you get the 3 questions afterwards. And that videos are so poorly acted that you don't need to watch the entire thing to get the gist of the situation. So once you get the gist of the situation, here's what I promise you're going to be asked about. What should you do if you're person A? What should you do if you're person B? And what is a good general rule of thumb about this situation moving forward? So as you watch the video, put yourself in the first person's shoes, put yourself in the other person's shoes, and you can predict essentially the 3 questions they're going to ask you before they even do so. So it gives you an extra few seconds to think about your answer. And then the next tip would be to read all 3 questions right when they come up before you start typing your answer for the first one. Each individual question gets graded, so you want to make sure you have something unique to say in each one and not blow your CASPer load on that first question. The last tip is, the CASPer doesn't really matter. Med schools haven't said how they're going to use it. They don't know what it predicts or how it's supposed to be used in the admissions process. So take it and shake it off. If you have a bad section, don't worry about it. A, it's unlikely to sink your score, and B, your score is unlikely to matter in your med school admissions. So there you go. My best tips for preparing for the CASPer. Be sure to check back on our website for many CASPer prep resources as we go along. We're trying to build something really cool so that all of us can conquer this test.